When Bethesda announced that The Elder Scrolls 6 might not release until 2028 or later, the gaming world had mixed reactions. Some fans responded with understandable frustration, while others saw the delay as a sign of the studio's commitment to crafting a worthy successor to one of gaming's most iconic franchises. Amid the noise, one idea stood out: the long wait could in fact be a blessing in disguise. In an industry where rushed releases can tarnish a franchise's legacy overnight, taking the necessary time could ensure that The Elder Scrolls 6 lives up to its monumental expectations and stands the test of time, just as Skyrim did more than a decade ago. It is tempting to demand immediate gratification, especially from a studio with Bethesda's pedigree. After all, Skyrim is still widely played today, having sold millions of copies and received countless re-releases. Fans have been waiting since 2011 for the next mainline installment in the Elder Scrolls series, and the promise of a new entry has been dangling for years without a solid glimpse of gameplay. In today's fast-moving gaming culture, where titles are often announced and released within a short cycle, a projected release window that could extend beyond 2028 feels almost surreal. However, this extreme timeline might be precisely what the series needs to not only meet but surpass its legacy. One important factor that supports the idea that the delay is beneficial lies in the sheer ambition expected of The Elder Scrolls 6. Open-world RPGs have evolved tremendously since Skyrim first set the bar in 2011. Today's players expect expansive worlds teeming with dynamic storytelling, complex AI behavior, reactive environments, and seamless technical performance. To deliver an experience that can compete with, and ideally outclass, the likes of The Witcher 3, Elden Ring, and Cyberpunk 2077, Bethesda cannot afford to cut corners. Rushing development would almost guarantee technical issues, half-baked mechanics, or shallow content, and the backlash would be devastating both for the studio and for the franchise's legacy. Looking at recent gaming history, the importance of patience becomes even clearer. Titles like Cyberpunk 2077 serve as cautionary tales of what happens when a game is released before it is truly ready. Despite years of hype and high expectations, Cyberpunk 2077 launched with a host of bugs and missing features that marred its reputation and forced CD Projekt Red into years of damage control. Bethesda, which already carries a reputation for buggy launches, knows it cannot afford such a misstep with The Elder Scrolls 6. A game of this magnitude demands not just time for content creation, but also for extensive testing, polish, and optimization across multiple platforms. Otherwise, even the grandest ambitions could crumble under the weight of unmet expectations. Additionally, The Elder Scrolls 6 represents more than just another game release for Bethesda. It is a pivotal moment in the studio's evolution. Since the acquisition by Microsoft, Bethesda has new resources, new strategic goals, and a new level of scrutiny. The studio's last major single-player RPG, Starfield, demonstrated that while Bethesda is still capable of massive, engrossing games, the gaming landscape has become even less forgiving of technical flaws and design oversights. With The Elder Scrolls 6, Bethesda has a rare opportunity to reinvent itself, to refine the formula that made Skyrim a legend, and to set a new standard for open-world fantasy RPGs. Such a task simply cannot be rushed. Another reason why the delay could be a blessing ties to the technological leap the game could make by waiting. Game engines, hardware capabilities, and AI systems are advancing rapidly. By 2028, new consoles or upgraded PC standards could allow for world building on a scale currently unimaginable. More sophisticated AI companions, more realistic ecosystems, more detailed and varied quests. These are possibilities that can only be realized if the development cycle aligns with the next wave of technological advancement. If Bethesda leverages this opportunity correctly, The Elder Scrolls 6 could become not just a worthy successor to Skyrim, but a groundbreaking leap forward for the genre. The long wait also gives the developers time to absorb lessons from the broader RPG landscape. Since Skyrim, the open-world genre has expanded in many directions. Games like Breath of the Wild, Ghost of Tsushima, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Elden Ring have shown how exploration, immersion, storytelling, and combat can be revolutionized in modern gaming. Bethesda has the chance to study these innovations and integrate, or even improve upon, them within the Elder Scrolls framework. Rushing would mean missing this critical chance for creative evolution. Patience could mean achieving a new apex in RPG design. Moreover, giving the developers time reduces the likelihood of excessive crunch, a problem that has plagued the gaming industry for decades. Crunch culture, where developers are forced into brutal overtime to meet release deadlines, has led to countless reports of burnout, health issues, and staff turnover. If Bethesda uses the extended timeline not just to polish the game but also to maintain a sustainable, healthy development environment, The Elder Scrolls 6 could benefit from a more passionate, less exhausted team producing their best possible work. A rested and inspired team creates better games, and the benefits of a healthier production cycle will inevitably show in the final product. From a narrative standpoint, The Wait also offers new opportunities. The Elder Scrolls universe is vast, intricate, and beloved. Lore consistency, narrative depth, and world-building take significant time to perfect. A rushed game risks lore inconsistencies, shallow storytelling, and missed opportunities to expand the mythos in meaningful ways. By allowing the writers, quest designers, and world builders the time they need, Bethesda can craft a narrative experience that feels rich, cohesive, and truly epic, something that fans will remember and discuss for years, just as they still discuss the Greybeards, Daedric Princes, and Dragonborn legends today. It is important to remember that Skyrim itself was a product of thoughtful, careful development. Though Bethesda's reputation for glitches remains, Skyrim's world-building, atmosphere, and sheer depth were unmatched at the time, and the game has remained relevant and beloved for over a decade because of the strong foundation it was built upon. If The Elder Scrolls 6 is to achieve a similar or even greater legacy, it needs to be approached with the same, or even greater, level of care and ambition, not rushed out to meet arbitrary deadlines or to capitalize on fleeting hype. In the end, while waiting until 2028, or beyond, for The Elder Scrolls 6 feels almost cruel after so many years of anticipation, the delay could very well be the best thing that could happen to the franchise. Greatness takes time. True innovation takes time. Building a world that players will lose themselves in for thousands of hours, creating memories, forging legends, and shaping their own adventures takes time. If Bethesda uses this extended development period wisely, then The Elder Scrolls 6 will not just be another installment in a beloved series, it will be a once-in-a-generation experience that justifies every second of the wait.